Introductory session on Oracle Business Suite ERP from YesM Systems.
You do have these choices of, getting into a place where you would want, but at the same time, you also should be a little bit flexible in terms of taking up the consulting in any place. See, you just go into a consulting for a company, maybe in Ohio, and if they all will prefer to be in the if there is a consultant who is there, for example, I went into one of these projects which was supposed to be a 6 months project, but it did turn out to be I was there, they were doing enhancements, they were doing new implementations, so I ended up being 3 years in that. Okay, so normally an implementation cycle goes somewhere around 8 months to 1 year to maybe 1.5 years. Okay, but once you have been in part of those implementations, this again actually goes on to this additional enhancements. So they would really want those people who implemented to be sticking around so that they know the system. They don't want to teach again the entire stuff to somebody else. So keeping that in mind, if you have been part of the implementation team, they would like to continue you for the support or for any new enhancements. Okay, so what will go next is individual introduction. I'll just skip this, okay, because for want of time. The course content. Okay, so what we will be covering in this course is we will start from sort of basics. Okay, we'll start from basics in terms of what is an ERP, how ERP functions. We will also give an examples. Most of this training, entire training, will be with some practical examples, and the objective of this training is to mold you guys to become an Oracle consultant. So this is not just a normal training where you just know the application, navigate and get there. No, this is not. I will be spending only 20% of time in Oracle, but 30% time in Oracle, but 70% I will be concentrating on the process and concepts. Okay, so what we all think here is that while a student can be successful when they actually understand the concepts or understand the process. So we'll be more touching upon, okay, process. Anything that you talk about, okay, anything that you talk about goes by a process. Okay, let's say you have to get ready to go to your office. There is a process involved. You got to get up, you have to brush your teeth, you have to do certain things before you really can go to your office. That is a process. So if you miss out one of them, you are in trouble. Okay, so we will be concentrating on on the process in Oracle. If there is a invoices that need to be generated, you cannot just go and generate an invoice in a fly. There is a process. So Oracle ERP also talks of anything like a process. So unless you understand what the process is and what the concept is, you will not be able to go to the next step. Okay, I have seen students who really work very, very hard in Oracle application to know the thing. They go and they are hands-on. They go and work hard daily. They are in the application, doing an invoice, doing a revenue, doing a billing. But you know what? They are not successful also. I've seen those guys not being successful because they don't understand why they want to do that. So if you really understand the concept of question of what and why, I'll be concentrating on question of what and why. So once you are very clear on what and why, how, the answer to that how is going and figuring it out in Oracle. So I would say figuring it out in the Oracle application is just a 20 to 30% job, but the main 70%, what you want to do, why do you want to do, if those concepts are very clear, you can really get to that 30% is very easy. But if your concepts on that what and why is not clear, your 30% you will never get there. Okay, that is basically the mantra for this particular training, and I will be really focusing on the concepts, process, and then how we do it in Oracle application. Okay, so this course content is covered, the modules that are covered here, or the sequence of the things that we cover is, we'll be covering on the general stuffs about the basics, about the module structure, how the modules are related, what is the navigation, because you all are fresh to Oracle, at least that is my assumption. So we will be giving you the basic navigation, how to log in, what does each button mean, what are the basic stuff that you need to know in ERP. Okay, then we will give you some sysadmin training, because if you how you will have to create a menu, how you will have to create a responsibility. These are certain things that any consultant should know, whether he's working in a project accounting module, GL module, supply chain modules, any module. He will also be able to, he should be able to know certain basic things in system administration, and that's what we will cover. We will cover the general ledger module, where we will be talking about the basic setups within Oracle, because general ledger is like a heart of the Oracle ERP module. We will be covering one other thing, very important thing that we will be covering is, we'll not be just looking at the product by Oracle application. We will also be talking about what is an ERP methodology, ERP implementation methodology. How will people really go when they go to a customer site? What is the process that they will face? What are the things that they will face in an ERP implementation as a consultant? What would be the project team structure? What are the different documents that they will do? You know, like Oracle itself has given some AIM methodology documents. So if you are going and doing a requirement gathering, if you are going to do a testing, you know, for testing there is a test script you need to do. And so what is a template? So everything goes by certain templates. Okay, for requirement gathering, what is the template? Where do you need to put all those requirements? How to find out gaps? So there are a bunch of documents that we will also be looking at. Okay, so we will be concentrating not just in Oracle application, but all the other things that will help you in answering those interview questions in terms of an implementation methodology, in terms of documentation, in terms of anything else that goes in an implementation cycle. So I'll say, when I say anything else, that's a big list of some 15-16 stuffs that we have identified that a student has to know. Okay, so we'll be covering those things. We'll be covering the project accounting modules. I'm just scrolling down. And then we will be concentrating on accounts receivable module, because they are very, very closely integrated with project accounting. So for a person who is working in project accounting, you should know how, because you raise certain things, like when you are doing a billing using project accounting, actually that invoice gets generated in the accounts receivable module, and that is what we will be looking at as well. And then we will do another, there's another module which is a very interesting module, is a project management module. Okay, so this is a place where you can actually do a lot of things when it comes to managing a project. So we will be looking at this module. Many consultants who are a project accounting consultant are not very, very comfortable with project management module. Okay, so having the knowledge of project management is also an advantage. Okay, so we will be covering project management as well, and then we will also be helping you in terms of the interview preparation. So those 15-16 steps that I said, or points I said, will all be able to help you out in getting to be prepared for an interview. Okay. So having said, this is the course content. Duration of this course is going to be 8 weeks, and the whole objective here is to not complete the training and just keep going. Our real intention here is to ensure that you guys are you are able to actually mold yourself into a consultant. But from your part, what we expect from you also is that we will be providing you those assignments, we'll be providing you those thing, we'll be doing a sort of revision every day. Every day half an hour I'll be spending half an hour, and it sometimes goes even more than that. I'll be spending time on what we did the previous day and previous days, so that you understand the concept very well. Okay, so that is something that also I will be concentrating on. Okay, so let me take some questions before I go to the next slide. Let's go with Pandu. How much Oracle background required? Is that your question, Pandu?
Yes, sir. Yes.
Okay. See, Oracle application, right now we'll go from the basics. We'll go from the basic in terms of how to navigate, and then we will even be talking about the basic processes involved and how we can do it in Oracle. So right now for this training, my assumption is none of you have got a Oracle background. Okay, when I say Oracle background, it can be an Oracle means, or you can have Oracle database, you can have Oracle other program things like developers and all those things, D2Ks. But when I say Oracle, really technically we don't need a technical background here. And my assumption would be that all of you are not an Oracle application, you have not worked on Oracle application. So there is no, I mean, you don't really need an Oracle background to start this training. Okay. So let's go to Preeti.
Yeah, hi. I wanted to know what are the test scripts? Like, is it to do with unit testing or VB scripts? What type of test scripts do we use for ERP?
Okay, see, if you look at an Oracle, actually this Oracle methodology, implementation methodologies or implementation steps, you know, when you're going as a consultant to the customer's place, you will be doing a bunch of steps. Like you will go, the first step being requirement gathering, you will understand the requirements, you will identify, because all requirements may not be the ones matching the Oracle application. Now, Oracle application is a product, you know, though they have looked at all the industries to come out with the product, but still our business requirements are always unique. If there are 10 functionalities in Oracle, the business will be asking for say 11th, 12th, or 100 features are there, they'll still be asking for, I need one more functionality, or I need two more functionality. So when that is there, you know, you do go up with a gap, and for the gap you may write some programs, your technical team may write some programs to come up with those requirements. Okay, but having said all this, within the ERP implementation cycle, you have requirement gathering, designing, because you have to configure all the requirements in the system, and then there is a process of testing. That itself is a 3-month, 4-month exercise. They do a system integration testing, user acceptance testing. These are different testings that happens. So for these testings that happens, as a functional consultants, you have to come up with those test scripts, understanding what they want to test in each of these testing cycles. So for doing the test scripts, there is a template which you need to fill in terms of how to click, what to click, and what is the data that you need to enter and how you need to go with it. So that is what is writing the test scripts. Okay, and some of them use tools to actually write the test scripts, but these are all like manual testing that they normally do during the cycles.
So what are these tools for testing?
Okay, see, it's all manual testing, mainly in an implementation cycle. But so some companies use those the quality Mercury. I know they were using this Mercury HP tool for putting in the test scripts, and basically to track what are those tests that has been done, what is the issues, what are the things, so that it is all in one place. But when it comes to testing tools in an implementation, when it will be really useful is those performance testing they do. Okay, so performance testing when they do before they go live, you know, that is something that they test, but that is something that they give it to the testing team separately. Okay.
So as such, the consultant would not have to write any programs to test.
No. There is no testing. They don't really need to know even the testing tools.
All right, because when you say scripts, test scripts, I mean, I don't understand what
It's a
that
Word
means.
document. Simple. I can put it this way: Word or an Excel document.
So what would it look like?
We will be covering that part of our course anyway. I'll give you the templates. Then it will look like, okay, what is to be tested, the small description of what need to be tested, what is the navigation for each, like go to this place, go to click this, and put this data, and expected result is this. So then there will be a column for actual result and then pass and fail. So they need to be putting that. Okay, so basically that is what step by step on all those things that goes in for doing a particular process in the Oracle application.
All right, okay.
Okay, so let's go to Prachi Gupta.
Yes, Ramohan, I have a question. On the basis of this training, how do we kind of incorporate this training in our resume to kind of market ourselves in the job?
That's something that we will be able to assist you. Okay, so one of the end of the sessions we will be going with how to prepare for an interview. So so that is something that we will be able to assist you in doing that.
Okay.
Gopi.
Okay. Basically, what I want to know is initially after you finish the class, the type of jobs you can get is more like a contract job, right? But what are the possibilities of getting a full-time job? Do people normally hire full-time in this
Yeah,
field?
there are, there are people who look for, mainly they look for permanent jobs because that is what is will make them make the company for company it's more economical, So having a contractor will be always a costly, and every company will be looking for hiring people than working as a contractor, especially when it comes to sort of if it's like say 6 months or short term, yes, they will prefer more a contractor. But if it's little longer term, then they will prefer to hire them. And I do have a person where there was a contract specifically signed that this is like a contract to hire, where they went into an agreement which said that okay, this guy can work as 6 months as a contractor, but then after 6 months we will be hiring him. That is how it really goes in the market. The more I mean, if you're but normally a person like an ERP consultant, people, they would want to remain as a contractor because that is where they can have better, they can see better money. But to your point, yes, permanent people would really prefer for a permanent hire if it's a little longer term, because that will work out cheaper for the company hiring you. Okay.
Right. The reason I asked the question is when you get a job as a supply chain analyst or financial analyst, let's say the company comes in, they install everything, right? Implement everything. After that, the company need to have some people to support the system,
Right.
right? Now, since this is a project related, project accounting is like a project related. So you go there, and do you think the companies will have more projects for you to keep it, just to keep your job in there?
See, once they are tied on to Oracle application, okay, once they are tied on to Oracle application, they are tied on. It's like like your marriage. Okay, once you are got married, you get tied on to your wife or husband. So you cannot leave and say, okay, I mean, let's keep things. So they are tied on to Oracle application as such. So until you have an Oracle application, you got to maintain the Oracle application, right? So you really need consultants, you really need support teams. So normally they hire these jobs to some companies like Satyam, TCS, Genpact, Wipro, Infosys, and stuff like that. So the more you will mostly be working on these companies, you will be working on these companies who do the consulting for others. But at the same time, there are opportunities both the sides. Let's say you're working, like I'll give an example of GE, where GE will be hiring companies like Genpact to do the consulting, and they will be doing the support also, maintenance work also they will give it to them. So as a consultant, you have a chance to either be employed by companies like Genpact, Satyam, Infosys, and stuff like that, or you will be you can be sort of hired by the actual users like GE or whichever company is actually using the application. Okay, but to your question, yes, even after implementation, there will be a lot of requirement. There will be new enhancements. People keep asking for change again and again on the system. So as a consultant, you may have to be doing that. So wherever there is Oracle implementation team, there are consultants who keep maintaining the system, doing enhancements and stuff like that.
So whenever they do enhancements, then the project accounting comes into play.
Right, right. If you have done a project accounting, they will ask for enhancements in the project accounting. They'll say, I need a different. I'm just giving a simple example. They will ask for a different invoice format or different
Right.
logic for certain type of transactions. So you will have to ensure those things are set up.
Okay. Yes.
Okay. So I will just park on to any other questions. Let's just go for the next part of the agenda, and again I'll take questions. Okay. Okay, about this training, it's actually, as I said, most of this I've covered. So it's not a navigation training. We will be talking about process, concepts, and then look at tell how to do it in Oracle. I will really I really consider how to is the last part of it. But if you don't understand the first two parts, you're going to how to do it in Oracle application will not take anyone anywhere. Okay, so that is what will be our main thing, our objective here, to mold you as a consultant. Okay, so this is we'll give you based on our experience. We will give you for every situation. We will be talking something which is more practical. You know, how we face this in our implementation, and how did we come about, worked around it, and stuff like that. Of course, we'll also be helping you out in your in getting yourself for preparing yourself for an interview. And once we are in a job, let's say we are able to get you in a job, still we will be there to handhold you for some time till you get there. You know, so that is another thing that we will be helping you out. Okay, but with that experience, luckily what I've seen is that yes, first few weeks I've been involved like daily basis, but then slowly the consultants get more familiarized with the environment. Then they get used to those project team, and they just, it's like a 1 week exercise to see how it's going. Sometimes it's just a meeting where we just say, oh hi, how are you, things are going good. They talk about how their apartment was there, how their party went on, and not much about Oracle. And that's what happens after a few weeks. Okay, so that's, but still we will be there to actually guide you in case you need anything during your in your job. Okay, and the logistics here, we will be using the same webinar or GoToMeeting to do the training. Okay, we will also, like, if we have a lot of people based out of Atlanta, we will have classroom sessions as well. We have our other trainer based out of Atlanta, and these things like your implementation methodologies or anything that is not on the product, that we will be covering over the weekends. And if there are a lot of people in Atlanta, we can have a classroom session as well in Atlanta, and classroom come online training. Okay, so this repeat is this is something that we have not worked out with the next batch. This is something that we may have an option in case a repeat is needed. We will be providing you the access to the instance, and we have a portal called MySki, which we will be using, where each student will be given a login and ID. This portal will consist of all the documents that is relevant for the training and any reference material. So we have a lot of reference materials and the links to certain concepts in the internet. So we will be putting that in this, and also so any documents that they need to refer to and things which we will be loading, it will be here. Likewise, if student comes across certain things, certain documents also, they have also been loading in this portal. So that is like an asset for us to go and see the documents. And in the portal, every assignment that we give, it will get into your automatically into your queue, and that this will actually give a one-on-one between the trainer and the student. So when we have these one-on-one, like for example, I've given an assignment. So this will be in your queue, every individual student's queue. So you will have to go and do it in the application and come up with the screenshots or come up with the results and have it loaded in the same queue itself, same task queue. So it will come to me. Once you submit it, it will come to me. I can look at it. I can just send some, I'll put some comments on it and send you back for rework in case needed. Or if it's all perfect, I will give my comment and then I can close that. So it's a task-based system where we will be doing a communication back and forth with each of you. So this will give us a one-on-one thing. I'll be spending some time, like 1 or 2 hours a day to look at each how did you do, and because it will be coming to my queue. So it will come as an individual request. So I will go to that request and then I will look at what you have done in the system and I will comment back. So that way, though we have a classroom online training and there's a bunch of people here, still that one-on-one touch will be there as a part of this thing. So we will use this portal to get there. Okay. I will just finish off with this slide and then take up the questions. Okay. Okay, as a functional consultant, what will you do? So your role and task, you will have this, this is a bunch of things that normally a functional consultant does, but it cannot be limited to this. Depending on a customer site, maybe there may be 1 or 2 additions, but these are something that normally a consultant will do. He will go gather business requirements. So he will be discussing with the business people to get these requirements. Build the process flows. So as I said, if you have to go to office, there is a process flow that you get up, you brush your teeth or whatever, and then how you get ready to your office. Similarly, we do, there is a process flow for anything that we see in the system. So we need to document. When we do a requirement gathering, we need to first of all put maybe an as-is process document, how the process is working today, and then come up with a to-be process map. How in future using Oracle, how do you intend to do these steps? So that is what is the initial job of a consultant. So we do a sort of, there is a template, we use this Visio diagram to actually come up with the process flow diagrams. The consultant will configure the Oracle application, creating a test script, I think we just discussed about it, identifying the gaps and suggest a solution to the gaps. So a business may come up with something that is not in Oracle. So in that case, how to handle that? That is something that we need to capture, and we may want to tune, we may want to change the Oracle application to slightly modify the application to make it work the way the customer wants. So how do you do that? You write a functional specification and then give it to the technical guys to do the development. So once that is done, you need to do the testing. So you may have to do a testing, conduct even a testing when the users are testing it. Okay, be in the conference room, help them out in doing the testing. Okay, all that. There's something called conference room pilot, which is nothing but a demoing the system functionality to the users. You configure everything and then show them how this system works. Okay, you do the configuration, which is nothing but setup and configuration documents. So there is a bunch of documents to do the setups. So any change that you want to do in the system, first you need to change the document and then update the document and have it done in the system. So if you look at the work that a normal functional consultant will do is, like we said, like business requirement gathering, it's all talking, meeting people, getting the requirements. So 60% of the time goes in meeting. Okay, 25% on the product, doing something on the product, and another 15% on documentation and presentation. Okay, this is how the life of an Oracle ERP consultant would be after they look at this. Is I'm talking about those 8-hour, 9-hour, or 10-hour job time. Not the 24 hours. So the skills that's required, you don't need a technical skill here. Okay, we are making you as a functional consultant. You need communication skills. I mean, these are all a preferred skills that we may want. Presentation, product knowledge, of course, we will gain it. Implementation, methodology and techniques, we will teach you. logical thinking. This is a skill that we may need, logically thinking, and you need this curiosity. So if let's say I tell you, let's go and do this in the system, and you just don't look at it and just go like go and just do that and come up with a result, because that is fine, that is perfect, and you have done what is supposed to be done. But while doing it, if you come across something that is a new thing, like if you are selling, let's say you're picking up a calendar, or you're seeing something like a special calendar, so immediately look at, oh man, what is this concept of special calendar? I have not seen it before. Okay, let's go and explore, or let's find it out. So while doing something, surely you'll come across tons of other things that is related to it. But still, by just doing it, you have done what you are supposed to do, and you have completed it. But what may be a better thing is that you go and look at anything that comes around. Okay, anything that is new concept that you are putting in the system. Even if you are putting a data in one particular field, you should surely understand, okay, why I am putting this data. Again, this comes to the same question, why and what, before you actually do how you do it. So be looking for it. You have to be curious to go and look at what is there and what is not there also. So that is what is your thing. So these are all little sort of soft skills, but product knowledge, implementation, methodology, techniques, all that we will be part of this training. Okay. No programming, coding required. Basic technical knowledge required for interaction with technical and other teams. Like basic tools like basic SQL. Visio is nothing but a tool which is for flowchart, doing a flowchart. Toad is something where you can see the data. So if you are able to get into all this, if you are able to if you are having these exposures to some of these things, it is an added advantage, But basic SQL trainings and stuffs will be covered in this training. Okay. Okay, let me just open up for questions. Okay, so since a lot of people are sort of asking on different questions, let me just spend one more time on 1 more minute on just the other slides. What I do have in other slides, which we will again be seeing in the actual training, is what is an ERP, what are the modules it covers. Okay, so what are the other ERPs in the market? You have SAP, Oracle, Oracle E-Business Suite, JD Edwards, PeopleSoft. These are Tier 1, Tier 2, Tier 3. So there are a lot of ERP systems in the market. How it is different from any other standalone package is that it covers. So I go to this slide here. An ERP application product actually covers different functions within an organization in one system. That is why we call it as an ERP system. It's an enterprise-wide application. Okay. So as you see here, you do have this manufacturing, CRM, projects, finance, supply chain management, human resource. So we do have all these functions into one application. And within all these functions, let's say if we talk about finance, it is still broken down further into general ledger module, or accounts payable module, accounts receivable module, cash management module, fixed assets module. Similarly, under project accounting and management, it is broken into project costing, project billing, project management, project contracts. So you have more bifurcation. Supply chain management again has got modules like purchasing, sales, inventory, and stuff like that. Okay. Similarly, manufacturing, similarly, human resource and the customer relationship management. So every product, the Oracle application has got this overall broken into different products. So this is what is the Oracle application. Okay, it's broken into different products, and wait, let me just okay, and each product, like I said, will have different modules within it, like finance a module, manufacturing a module. And to your point, I will also be, since I was talking about process, this is how a process looks like, like a simple procure to pay. This is a simple process. You have a requisition, purchase order, receipts, inspection, invoice, payment. So this is a process. So You just don't go and create an invoice just like that. So there is a process of having a requisition, purchase order. It goes through a process like this. Similarly, let's say an order to cash, you have a simple process like this. Like you have a quotation, sales order, issue, shipment, invoice. Okay. But when it really practically, when we come and do a process in an organization, it will not look so clean and neat. It will look something like this. You know, there is a bunch of small things that they do. There are manual things. There may be meetings in between. There may be so many things in between. So we will come up with those. We'll identify those processes that is there. The small, we capture everything, and we do refer to these maps like this. So this is something that was done in sort of Visio. Okay. So having said all this, so let's get back to the question and answer session. Okay. So Gopi, do you have a question?
I'm debating whether to go with the project accounting or supply chain, because supply chain is also, is going to be offered in 2 or 3 weeks, right? So
that's right. So
the question is, supply chain which one has more demand right now, and
see, the thing is, what I would really suggest is that after this session, you can actually get in touch with me. Okay, I can have a discussion with you, look at your background and say that which is better for you. Okay, first of all, one is the demand in the market is one thing, of course. The second thing is what really suits you, whether you are what is your background and where you can become. So keeping those two in mind, let's have a separate discussion specific to your case, and then we can decide accordingly.
Sure. Okay. All right. Thanks.
Okay. Okay. Let's go to C. Mohan.
Hi. Hi, this is Muslim. Yeah, earlier I had a question, and after your last slide, I think it's clear. I want to know the difference, like PeopleSoft is also owned by Oracle, that's a ERP system. So Oracle Project Accountant is also ERP, so that's where I was a little bit confused. There are 2 separate things going under Oracle.
Yeah, actually PeopleSoft is now within Oracle, but they have not, the product is still a separate product by itself. Okay, so though they have taken over, it's taken over by Oracle, it's not fully they have not integrated those things together yet. So you do have a product like Oracle ERP separate to PeopleSoft still.
Yeah, thanks.
The next is Navalani.
Yes, I have a question. What is the starting salary someone can expect after finishing this course?
Okay. It's like, depending on the experience that you have and the basic domain knowledge, like your experience in your domain area and the years of experience that we have. So it really varies. So for anyone like with having like 7 to 8 years, probably something that they can really see is between say $50–60. Okay, so 45 to 60, I could say that way, $45 to $60 at least. So I'm telling, going to the minimum. I want to be the minimum thing. Higher, it's just not. I have people who are earning like $130, $140, but that's something that is once they get there, then they have the experience and stuff like that. But I would really say to start with, the minimum that I can think of is between $45 to $60. Okay, again it changes. This is not that you cannot say, okay, this is what it really varies from persons to person, experience that you can put in and stuff like that. So there are a lot of variables here, but this is what I can say. Okay.
Okay. Thank you.
Let's go back to Arvind Singh. Do you have a question?
Yes, I have a couple of questions. First question is when we talk about the project management module, so is this a place to allocate resources and I mean the developers where the developers can book their hours and who do it?
Not really. Like when I say project accounting, what we refer to here is, yeah, that is part of it. What you said is part of it. But mainly, let's say, just imagine a company like GE, who actually do something. It's more to do with something to do with construction, or let's say like GE, the GE Wind, for example, they do this wind turbines, right? That itself is a big project. Every wind turbine requires lot of things, and they have customers all over the places. So for each customer, maybe they would have ordered for 100 turbines or something like that. So the whole objective of why they would need a project accounting module is to see the cost that gets accumulated on the project, the revenue that is booking on those projects, the invoices that they are billing to the project. So there are different terms for those invoices depending on the delivery of the goods to the customers and stuff. So to basically to summarize what a project accounting module is all about is to account or to manage the project, and the project is anything that you can call it as like a long-term things. So you just go and buy something, sell something is not a project. But if you get into a consulting, construction, or even a software development, it is a long duration. You have a big cycle for any software development. So you need to ensure that at each phase, what are the costs that gets accumulated. So anything that is a long-term in nature, they will go with the project accounting module. Okay. And timesheets, as you said, is also part of this, because we'll have to go with the labor cost, and that is one of it. Okay, labor cost, we need to book the labor cost to a particular project, especially when the same person works for multiple projects. What is the method of saying, okay, this particular person spent so many hours in this project, so it should be, the cost should be booked for that project and not the other project. That is basically based on the timesheet. So that is also part of it, but mainly anything that is to do with a long-term, long duration cycle, we go with the project accounting module.
Okay, my second question is, since we just talked about the software development life cycle, right? The software, and we create or someone creates just a product, right? Software product. So a software development life cycle, it has a various steps involved in it, say waterfall, correct? So it has say requirement, then you analyze it, then you do a technical analysis, design, then you test it. So and within each group they have a various tasks, right? So this is some of the tasks I just spoke. So this is the place, the project management, this module is the place where you can define the various tasks, and you can also mention if each task is billable or not, and who do that, like consultants or project management, project manager, I mean.
Okay, so you actually hit on the nail, so basically, yes, these are the you do have different tasks in a project, any project, and you gave a good example of a software development. So what are the different tasks under each of them, so that is how to decide it. Those are all part of the consultant's work, but how decision, ultimately doing it in the system is the consultant who does it, okay, and give a platform for the users. But how do a consultant come to that is by discussing with the business users. So you got to tell them, okay, what are the functionalities in the Oracle application? What is the advantage of having tasks structure in this way? So that is the initial phase of the thing. You get the requirements, and then you suggest, okay, this will be your task structure. Then they will also sort of go back and forth and stuff, and then ultimately there will be a process of finalizing the structure. That's a very good, that's a big task by itself. So finalizing a task structure, sometimes it happens after 6 months. They keep 6 months, 8 months. I know a project where 8 months they have been working on to decide what should be the task structure. Should it be this way? Should it be that way? What is the pros and cons and all that? But yes, consultant plays an important role in making the users understand how they need it.
And we can also easily mention about if your task is billable, like if you're working for some, say, the GE GE has Infosys and Infosys has IGT, right? Doing the same project again. So Infosys, they create bills for, next company, third company. So, means, what I'm trying to say is, if a task is billable, like you can capitalize it.
Right. You have so many parameters in it where we can say it's billable, non-billable, costable, non-costable. So many things are there. So those are all will be part of your training. But to your point, yes, we have for each task, we can give a characteristics to the task, whether it should be billable, whether it should be costed, whether it should be it is like whether it's linked to a specific customer. So many things in that. Yes, there is.
And that requirement and the definition of each task is given by the technical project manager.
Nothing to do with technical here. Everything is functional, configurable in the system.
Okay, no, but who would give that requirement? If what should be,
requirement is you have to
understand that task is.
That is something a consultant should work with the actual users. They are the business users and come up with the requirement. Okay, business user will say, I need to be billed in this task. So you need to understand that and accordingly configure it.
Okay. And my last question is this the place like the project management module, the project accounting, module, where you can populate the reports and measure the health of a project, if it is within a project, within a budget, or it is exceeding the budget, and who do that?
Both the things are available it's available in project accounting, it is available in project management. But in project management, we have a lot of advanced topics in terms of doing those variances. We have this earned value analysis. You have so many things, forecast versus actuals. So yes, as far as report is concerned, we have in all the places here. But normally in a real world, customer really wants a report in their own fashion. They don't, whatever report is given by Oracle, no one really uses those reports because every customer wants unique requirements. So what it really ends up is that these reports gets sort of one of those reports that gets created by the consultant. A functional consultant will get the requirement of their report and write a functional specification, pass it to the technical guys who actually develop these reports and provide them. So that is what happens. So one of the major custom logic within the Oracle application that consultants work on is reports. So ultimately they need this Oracle application to ensure that they get the report that they need. And it would always turn out that you do a custom report, but Oracle has given the facility to create reports the way the customer really needs.
Okay.
So let's go to Maya.
Ramohan, in the beginning of the class, you were mentioning that this is more of a functional course rather than a technical one.
Right.
Does having a technical background help in any way?
It will help very much, so like I said, all these reports, for example, there's bunch of customizations that normally they do it in the system. Like they come up with some custom logic, like they want a new functionality which Oracle does not provide, or they may want some reports, they may want to do interface. Interface is one important thing. The data, we are talking about all the data in, let's say, different modules like payables, receivables, but many companies use some other system, some third-party system will be available, like timesheets comes from different place, or let's say some employee expense comes from another place. So you need to get all those interfaces done in the system. For all this, a functional guy will do the functional consulting job, functional specification. But if that functional person has got some technical knowledge, it would be more easily, it is more easy to make the technical guys understand the real logic that is there, that they really want. Okay. Likewise, if there is an issue, if there is an issue, a functional guy, if he has got a technical background, he'll be able to go and look in the table and find out how it has updated the table or something like that. But if he is not having a technical background, always he can refer it to the technical guys who can also do the same thing.
So basically what I wanted to know is, can you progress from a functional person to a technical person?
Can you progress? It's again to what level that person is interested in. I have a finance background, and I tried my luck on the technical side, and it ended out that I was not successful at all. You know, though I tried to do some report and all that, and I then realized over a period of time that this is not my my job, this is not my place, I cannot go anywhere there. So I stopped there. But there are people, you know, finance background guys who are really passionate on doing technical stuff. They are getting there. So it's not it's not sort of limited there. You can surely get it. It's all your passion.
Okay, thank you.
Right. And I think let's take one question from Dayanand.
I have a very basic question. Like you said, you work at GE. Now, just giving that as an example, so why do companies actually install Oracle Financials? I mean, like they already have systems that take care of all these things, right? Like payables, receivables, and you know, processing invoices. They already have systems. It's not that someone is sitting and doing it manually. So why they get Oracle Financials?
Okay, that's a very
like just
yeah, that's a very good question. And basically, see, the legacy system is not capable of giving them what they need. Okay, especially for companies, the bigger companies where I'm just giving one example, and there are tons of examples like this. You know, like if they want to do a consolidation between different entities of their group, like GE is a big group, they need to do some consolidation of their operations in France, operations in China, operations in Canada, and if they each of them are using different legacy systems, you know, it will take a lot of time and effort to get these figures consolidated. Okay, so if everything is in one system, you get it a better. So if actually, to answer this question, if we really go to the advantages or benefits of using an ERP, that will really help you out in getting the answers to this. Okay, one of the other things that we really see is that in an ERP sort of system, like they have some separate legacy systems, one for sales or purchasing. They have one system for doing their manufacturing, like MRP tools and stuff like that. They have a separate system for finance, and these are not really very closely integrated. Okay, so here in ERP, what happens is you raise a purchase order or receive the goods. You know, your accounting entry for those gets automatically transferred to a general ledger module. So wherever manufacturing, you issue material to the manufacturing, this material gets issued. There is an accounting entry that happens. So it gets directly into the general ledger module. Likewise, a purchasing gets integrated with payables, liability gets there. So it's a sort of closed integrated system where you have more controls and process in place, which may not be there for any of the other system. So many people decide on ERP when they feel that their legacy system is their business has grown in such a way that the legacy system is not able to tackle their requirements, able to do every year end closing or quarterly closing is a huge time consuming effort. So they go with an application that is there all over the place, the same application. So they go with an ERP.
Well, I just have a follow-up question. So I'll give you a simple example. Let's say, you know, a manufacturing company has 8 different plants, okay, and each plant, you know, is in a different country and they have their own way of doing things. So if you get an ERP, I'm sure those 8 plants are not going to change their way of doing. So how does ERP solve that problem?
Good. That is something that you can see for when it's 8 different places if they have customers. Okay, and it depends on which sort of countries. Okay, let's say they have some customers in France, and these guys may still have only one company where from US they do the service to those companies in France, or maybe that they have a branch in France. They have another entity registered in France. Now, in an Oracle application, there are things that we can structure. We can create an organization structure and make each company within that organization to behave in a different way. Okay. So by making the system behave in a different way for each different organizations we create, that will take care of their unique requirement within that particular organization. Okay, that is something that we will be doing in the very initial part of the training. And if you look at training agenda here, we have a specific thing in the beginning which says, let me just go there, which talks about the where is it? Organization structure. Can you see this here? So that is exactly what we will be talking about on how to structure it, why, what are the things that we can do it differently for each organization, how it is actually moduled within the Oracle application. So yes, that will be something that we'll be discussing in length in the class.
Okay, thank you. Thanks.
Okay, so if there are no other questions, so let's wind up this class. Thanks again for joining, and I'll be sending an email to all of you with the with my email IDs as a response to this session. So thanks again for joining this class.